Hi everyone, my name is Iben, and I guess welcome back to Everton Zoo. If you're completely new to the channel, or if you've been a member of this channel for a long time and have no idea what Everton Zoo is, Everton Zoo was the very first zoo that I ever uploaded to this channel. And I got in a groove and I got back to it. This project is so incredibly old that the only thing that's really left from it is basically the map that I used. And I'm happy where this is going. I'm feeling confident enough that I can continue this into an actual series. And this time around we're going to have a slightly different way of showcasing it. I'm going to use the Maskedbandit style of showcasing all the steps between how we started and where we get at the end of this episode. So this episode is going to primarily focus on this entrance plaza and everything you see here. And we'll take a look at how that goes. So let's dive in, shall we? Well, here we are. This might as well look like a completely different zoo, but I can assure you that it's the same exact map as we were in just a few minutes ago. This was one of the first versions, and this was a version from a few months ago where I decided to replace the original Everton Zoo entrance with this. You can always go back to the original videos on the Everton Zoo. I don't have the file anymore. I don't have it in my game folder anymore. But yeah, this was one of the first steps that I took. One of the things that I immediately knew that I wanted to work with were these acacia trees, which I really liked. This Twilight window arch was going to give me really good, nice shapes. And I'm pretty sure that this zoo sign was based on some concept art, maybe from the Phoenix Zoo. I'm not entirely sure. Someone in the comments might be able to correct me on this, but there was concept art where there was a giant zoo statue, and I really liked that. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna use that. But yeah, this you can see where it started taking shape, but I struggled a lot with the entrance building and what kind of entrance building that I wanted. And this is where the project was for several months. I'm still happy with this. I still like the very unique shape that it has. But I knew that something wasn't working. Something wasn't matching with what I wanted to do. And I knew that I had to tinker with it for a little while. So that's what I started doing, and we'll take a look at what's next in that regard. And fiddle around I did. And this is where it really started to take shape. One of the main things that brought this all together was the terrain change and the cool Ferris wheel made by Simtanic, I believe. It's been on the workshop for ages, but this is where I found where I wanted to go. I felt like I really knew that this was the direction I wanted to go in, and it finally got me over the whole it's an empty map and now I'm stuck with an empty map syndrome. Because of the elevation, it all of a sudden became a much smaller spot, and it wasn't such a big blank map that I had to work on. So I started fiddling around again. The round shape that I had created using the Twilight arch had now become this really flowing shape, which I really, really liked. I still liked the tiling here, and I took the zoo sign, which I still loved, and placed it here where it was nice in line with the Ferris wheel. And I started tinkering again, and one of the first things that I wanted to do was a kind of amenities building or a kind of tickets building, but it wasn't working. The entire style that you see here was very cozy, and it felt very naturalistic with all the trees that created a very nice shape. But the problem was that this building felt too modern for what I wanted to do. So I quickly decided to get rid of this because it was not what I wanted. Second of all, I struggled really hard with where I wanted to put the entrance, because when you have a zoo, you need a way to close down the zoo at the end of the night, and there is not really a way. And you'll see in the final video part, the final clip, you'll see that I still haven't solved it. But you can see that I tried to add like an entrance gate over here, and I made this kind of fence system. But then again, I quickly realized, well, that makes no sense. Anyone can just jump over this and can get in. This doesn't make sense. Then I was like, okay, maybe the part that actually closes is this and this, but then people could get into the Ferris wheel at night, and that made no sense to me. So again, I knew that I had to start working again, and I needed to start fiddling around with things once again. But the basics were there. I knew the direction that I was going to go in, and I'm very happy with what the direction is. And so we ended up in another iteration of this entrance plaza, and you can see that it's slowly starting to get to the point where you saw it at the start of the video. And there were two things that I immediately liked, and things that I really wanted to preserve. First of all, the more subdued feeling that this area now had, with just a few benches, just some parasols, I don't know the word, then canopies, and whatever that I wanted over here, it had to be something that would blend in with the environment rather than sticking out the way it used to do. That was a very important thing for me. So I started to get an idea of where it was going to go. I also changed the color of these bricks, and I really liked this because once the Ferris wheel was in, the red color started to dominate the color palette a lot, and it becomes one of the biggest accent colors in this zoo. You can find it in the flowers, in the canopies, in the benches, all kinds of things. Now, of course, when you have a Ferris wheel, you need a kind of you of course need a great camera work even. You of course need a kind of control center that you can start and stop, and you need some kind of queuing mechanism. As this is like an upsell attraction, I think it's going to be part. It's not that it doesn't have a huge queue. It also has plenty of room to just queue over here, if that was ever to be necessary. But again, the red accent colors were starting to form. Another thing that I really wanted to preserve, and I'm still able to preserve to this day, is this view right over here. This little, I was going to say triangle shape, but this little diamond shape here draws you in, and that was going to be one of the main drawing spots for the zoo. So if anyone wanted to go, there were going to be two main routes. There was going to be a way to go through the zoo this way and then come back over here, or the other way around if you go through here. And as you can see here, I had my first attempt at one of the first exhibit areas. As you can see, this is based on the Congo forest from, I believe, the Bronx Zoo, and I still wanted to do something with Congo forest, but I quickly realized that I didn't like this. This wasn't inviting me into the area as much as this area was doing, so I had to figure out what I wanted to do with that. And again, there were some iterations, and we'll take a look at what happened next. And so we arrive at where the zoo is today. I had a talk with Mike, because that's usually what I do when I get stuck on certain things. I had a talk with him about the little building over here. I showed him the file. He really liked what he saw, and he had some tips. So I started implementing those. One of the things he pointed out is that there had to be something that broke up the greenness of this area. Originally, he suggested using pampas grass, the one that Captain Callum made. I like what Captain Callum had done, but I didn't like how it looked in here, so I went for these bushes instead. It's not enough because it's not enough for Mike. Let's call it the way it is, as it's not a big texture break where the pampas grass was a bigger change in texture, but I don't mind it that much. I feel like I'm happy with what this is now. And of course we have the little building over here. It changed from a ticket booth / gift shop to a little coffee stand, because that fits in with these tables. This coffee stand was not made by me. This is made by Haribo. I simply changed a few things. I changed a few of the materials, not a lot, barely anything. So this is very much still Haribo's build. I'm not going to take credit for it, but I'm just happy with how it looks. It really fits in with this entire area. It's not too big, it's not too huge. It doesn't take away from all the nature here. And yeah, really was a big fan of that. Going further, I also got a hint from Mike that this area would need something that this Ferris wheel needed some kind of protection from people who were going to walk up to it and climb onto things where they shouldn't climb onto. And so I decided to put in this fence. For me, it was very important that fence wasn't visible from, and I'll jump over everything, that fence wasn't visible from where you were standing here. And I'm very happy that I was able to achieve that. You can't see it where you're standing from. But yeah, it has to be there. He was right, as he usually is. Annoyingly so, he is always right. And if he decides to watch this video, which I don't think he will, because Planet Coaster 2 is now a thing. If he watches this video, he'll say, yeah, of course, I'm always right. You should know this by now. But yeah, I was very happy with this end result. Now, what we're going to take a look at in the next episode is the Congo area. As I said, I wasn't happy with how it looked at the first time that I built it, and you're getting a small little sneak peek at what is going to come. But now this is much more an open area that draws you in, rather than an area that is super closed down. And I'm really happy where this is going. And this is where I'm going to leave you in this episode. I am still going to try to stick to my a video every 2 weeks kind of approach. It's the only way I can do it. I have a life that requires me to spend a lot of time on other things than just Planet Zoo. It's the main reason why you haven't seen much of my videos in the last year. That and the lack of inspiration. But yeah, I have other things now that I'm very happy about, and I'm very happy to spend time on. But that means that the schedule is still going to be every 2 weeks. Luckily, I have I have enough prepared already that we at least have 2 more episodes already done. So the next few episodes will be guaranteed. I thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you enjoyed the new format. I'm still, this is one of the first times I've ever done it. So I'm still very new to it, but I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you all in the next episode. Thank you so much. Bye.